Health break today. Lice. It's a problem. It's a problem going in all of our schools. I mean, think about it. Sitting in class and then pretending you're a teacher, then you're teaching the class, and then all of a sudden, like you say one day in class, you feel like you're scratching your head. You're just like, "Are you okay? I think I should go to the." You say to yourself, "I think I should go to the nurse," and then you go to the nurse, and then they look at your hair. They found you have lice. And so they notify your parents like right away, saying your son or daughter has lice. You need to come pick him up, pick him or her up, so or so. And then, but some schools, most schools have this system. Some schools don't. And in the case of yesterday's Chris 6 News, Ashley Portillo reported about CCISD, just about how CCISD said in their statement that they're allowed to go back into school, but that worries me. It's a safety. Lice is a big safety issue for all kids. What if it gets into other kids? I mean, they shouldn't just send them home, but no. Like when they're in school, they call the parents and it's like, okay, you go back to class. It's like, check your lice. Okay, you have lice. Go back to class. It's a safety issue. The administration would have a problem. The administration would have a problem with it. They would look at this and it's like, we need to change this up. And they're sitting there like, we can't have this happen because if we do, then our truth rate's going to go up. We can't have that. And who's bug? I mean, people after the story here, people are like saying, shave her head, problem solved. Like, go to school bald. I mean, people laugh at her. That is just straight up bullying right there. Picking on someone because they're bald, that is just straight up bullying. Head lice is always the last situation. 10-year-old core towards who had head lice 3 times during the school year. The daughter's up scratching, or seems like her head scratching every time is an active case of head lice because she's not immediately sent home from school. The district CCISD said if a student does have lice, they're able to stay at school for the remainder of the day and then treat it at home. That kind of concerns me. So the student has lice, they send him to the nurse, and then the school says, we're going to have him stay for the remainder of the day, and then have him treated at home. That is straight up bullshit. Why? Think about it. If the nurse says have them stay the remainder of the period, if you say let's have a student stay the remainder of the period if they have head lice, it's gonna contaminate all the other students, and that's a big safety issue. And they also notify parents the affected student's class. Once the parent's notified, the student has 1 school day to get treated before returning to school or to be absent or to be excused. But it also says students are not sent home immediately. The CDC and prevention recommends a healthy child should not be restricted from attending school because of head lice. But when the child returns to CCISD school, their hair must be free of lice, which is checked by school nurses. They also say classroom checks and massive screens for hand lice are no longer performed because it disrupts student and teacher class time and are not effective. Callan ISD and Flower Bluff, which is where I live, they say if a child has lice, their parents call to meet and pick up the child. The child is able to return after they've been treated. So congrats to Callan and Flower Bluff. They have that policy, but CCISD, thumbs down. So we're going to give Callan and Flower Bluff a 2 thumbs up. But CCISD, a 2 thumbs down. I would like to see that policy change. And as a matter of fact, if that policy changed, to where the same thing happens in other schools, everyone would be safe. No one could be contaminated. And if so, if one person goes less, no one can get contaminated, then everyone can be safe in school. Period. We don't have this. We don't need to have this happen. As a matter of fact, they need to change their policy and do it before more children are affected. So the thing you have to remember here is that we're trying to keep our students safe. So we have to make sure they get vaccinated, they get their head lice checked, and you gotta make sure, so parents, in order to keep your kids safe, you have to make sure they're lice free, vaccinated free, they're vaccinated. And make sure that this doesn't happen again. If you go to CCISD, if your child goes to CCISD, then you're in trouble. Because they do not allow this. Go to a different school, like Flower Bluff or Cal Allen, where they will allow you to go home. That would make everyone feel better. And then we want to worry about throwing fits. Alright, we gotta take a break. Here, we gotta take a break here, Okay, so we gotta take a break here, but I want you guys to think about this while we go on break here. Is that we do not need this happening. If this happens, if this were to happen, then everyone would not be able to go to school, absence would go up, and then it's the end of the world. Not really. Alright. Next, the question here, is CCISD pre-K program out of pocket for some? One person says that he doesn't understand why his daughter, who meets the critical to attend school, is free and was readily turned away from worries of others. We're going to hear his side of the story and from like other parents. I mean, we're going to hear his side of the story and what the district has to say after the break. All right, a few months ago, I talked to you guys we talked about a Stupid in America program segment for schools, where you have to go where you're zoned. We talked about how in every state you go where you're zoned. So if you live in North Carolina or South Carolina, you go in those schools where you're zoned. Texas, each town or city you go in Texas, you go where you're zoned. You have to go where you're zoned. So if you're in the South Texas area, like let's say Corpus Christi, and then the town of Corpus Christi, like Flower Bluff, you got to go in that zone. What about for pre-K? It's also a concern for parents. I mean, three elementary schools. Maryland's Elementary, Dawson Elementary, and Luther Jones Elementary are the only schools to offer tuition-supported pre-K. Those classroom seats fill up quickly, but however, students who qualify for free pre-K also take part in those classes. Angel Cruz says that as a daughter who was one of those students by registration, the family is told it had to go to a different school. He made contact with the school, with the district, and began asking questions like if you want to qualify for pre-K in the CCISD, you must be unable to speak or comprehend English, be educationally disadvantaged, homeless, or in a military family. Those types of families that Cruz worries may have also turned away from their designated school too. CCISD said in a statement, due to privacy laws, the district cannot discuss specific situations. By law, public school districts must give need-based students first priority when programs have openings. Once a student is placed, no parent is ever asked to leave a site and move to another site in order to give that space to another student. If a family's home campus is full at the time of application, however, they may be offered space at a campus that has an opening. The crew said that speaking to CCISD about his concerns, his daughter was able to go to her son's school. Cruz is also part of city's Human Relations Commission. Says CCISD is expected to provide an update to the commission about his concerns in March. So we're going to keep following this story in the weeks ahead. But first, before we say about that, statement from CCISD also states that district hopes to expand this preschool program as space and funding permit. Also, the district has 32 need-based sites. CCISD provides preschool education to about 1,165 students. So, I'm going to keep following this story in the weeks ahead. I'll bring you the results on the future. Give me a break. All right. All right, next, the latest on the raid from Robstown. What happened to that raid? We're going to talk about that after the break. Let's face it here, guys. Drugs like heroin and marijuana are illegal in the state of Texas. Don't look at me, look at the laws, but look at the concerns. And don't you even think about just sneaking illegal drugs in the Texas area like in other states. Robstown, Texas, 2 people were arrested with a large amount of drugs off the streets next to the raid in Robstown area. The items that were confiscated: synthetic marijuana, black tar, heroin, meth, and a handgun and ammunition. Yesterday, the raid took place at a home that was turned into a makeshift apartment complex on the city's east side. A 31-year-old man and a 25-year-old woman booked on multiple drug charges. Those two guys learned their lesson. Drugs like those are illegal. It's like freaking illegal to just put drugs a lot of drugs on the street. Marijuana is illegal. Like fireworks are illegal. I don't want to hear anything from the peanut gallery. But still, we don't need this happening, period. We got to keep drugs off the streets. That's why there's a lot of people out there who are on drugs that you need to stay away from and stay clear. If not, then they're going to come attack you. And there's nothing you can do except find a place to hide. So, the thing you have to remember here is that we got to keep all our kids safe and out in the street. Which is why a curfew is taking place at some states. Meaning that there's a curfew. If you're 17 or under 17, you cannot be out on the streets after night. There is a curfew being placed. We'll talk about that after the break. Parents, listen up here. Your teens are going to be in danger. You got to keep your teens safe. I mean, curfew is happening. You may have heard this story days ago. Here in Corpus Christi, the City Council gave a tentative approval to the citywide curfew for teens enacted back in 1999. It prohibits teens 17 and younger from being out on the streets between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Every 3 years, the curfew faces review and renewal. The police chief said the ordinance has been effective and a good thing for the city. 2,500 arrests for a year, mid-200s. No public comment for the ordinance. Residents will have a chance to speak on it before the next council meeting. I think it's good because we need to teach our kids that you can't be out at night because it's dangerous out there. You want me going, come on, it's Friday. I should be able to go out and hang out with my friends. I mean, there's curfew. If parents set a curfew for you, you got to follow that rule. There are people out there that do drugs. And they want to do drugs with you. There's people out there that want to take your money. There are people out there that want to get your ass in your car and never take you home. Home is safe, out there's not. Understand that. Here is safe, out there's not. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, then you don't like what I'm saying, go to another channel and talk about it with another channel. But I'm not taking any attitude here. We can't have this happen. We're trying to keep kids safe. I mean, we got to teach them that if you want to go out at night, then you got to follow certain rules. Like, you got to have a certain curfew. There's dangerous people out there. There's homeless people out there. And then there's a lot of people out there. What can we do about this? We have to make sure our kids are safe. We have tracking apps on their phones like that. We have the Life 360. We have the Life 360 and all that stuff. But we can't be having this every time. If we do, then the biggest concern here is that your child's going to be missing, kidnapped, or shot with a gun. So you need to make sure that your teens are safe. If they want to go out at night, then you gotta set a curfew. I don't want to go over this again, but if we have to, then we have to. And I would hate to do this. All right. Coming up, there's homeless people out there. What you can do to help. Talk about that after the break. Here in South Texas or in the Texas community, there's a lot of homeless people, and people are wondering, what can I do to help? There are lots of ways you can help your homeless. And we're going to go through some of those right now. First, educate yourself. There are reasons why people are homeless, like loss for job, divorce, illness, substance abuse, domestic abuse, etc. The first steps you can take toward helping the homeless is trying to understand how they got here in the first place. Second, show some respect. Don't treat a homeless person like if he or she was invisible. Say good morning, or when you pass, or strike a conversation on the beach. Number 3, donate clothing, like shirts, pants, shoes. There's homeless shelters, foods, blankets, cups. You can donate anything. Number 4, you can volunteer, like sign up and work for a union shift at your local homeless shelter. Answer phones, sort mail, serve food, wash dishes, distribute clothes, babysit kids, clean floors, fix a leaky toilet, find out what they need and how you can help. Number 5, you can teach. You can put your skills to work to good use by sharing with them with the homeless. Organize your classes through your local shelter. Teach typing, accounting, plumbing, carpentry, childcare, nutrition, even a new language. Just try to teach. Reach out. Invite a homeless person to your place of worship or local community event. Organize an outing to take homeless kids to the movies or ice skating rink. Offer moral support when you can. Number 7, seek out job opportunities. Just encourage the church community center to hire a homeless person to paint, clean, type, answer phones, or any other work that might fit. Number 8, get techie. You can use your smartphone or other gadget to help the homeless. San Francisco, you can download the app called Hand Up, to read stories of homeless people in your area. Advocate. Just call your local homeless shelters to find out what items are needed. You can contact local scout troops or civic organizations to organize food drives or other fundraising events. What can you do? What are the best ways? You can also look to professionals. Give time, not money. Period. Or just give small things. Like a gift, a hat, gloves, dry socks. Furry friends. Remember hidden homeless. Those are some of the ways that you can help. And if you don't want to do those things, steer clear of them. Just don't talk to them. Find a place to hide. I got this from my mom. If you're ever going down there and you see a homeless person, don't talk to them. Find a place to hang out. Tell them who you are. Like, my name is so-and-so. There's a homeless person out there. You're going to hang out for a few minutes. If they say yes, it's okay. If they say no, find somewhere else. That way you can be very safe and sound. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Friday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Monday at our same time. Have a good night.